everybody? It's your boy T coming at you live with the inaugural episode of my very own podcast. I'm very excited to be able to bring you guys some content. Um, I'm excited to be able to put my perspective out there on a broader platform for everybody to take in and develop their own discussions from it, create discussions with myself through comments and feedback like that on social media. Uh, I wanted to transition into doing some YouTube and podcast stuff because if you know me, you know that most of my opinions are I put them on like Facebook or whatever, and I just drop little things, and then we have like a little forum. Certain people will comment on there, and they'll be they'll be disgruntled, and then others will be hyped to have the conversation. The way I look at it is, the more outlets you have to express yourself, the better. I'm a very expressive person. I like to talk. I like to try to broaden my perspective base and where I pull knowledge from, and I like to continuously like build my opinions off of just different perspectives on certain topics. So this podcast specifically will be more or less sports related for now. Um, just because we're in the middle of the NFL season. Anybody who knows me knows that I played football. That's my thing. Um, and I love to talk about sports, basketball. I coach. I'm a trainer. So I'm in that world, and it's the world that I'm most fascinated with when it comes to like occupation, things like that. But as most of you know, and for those of you who don't, I'm very interested in just changing the world in a positive way, leaving a positive impact on the world, and being a voice for the voiceless, right? I think that's very important. If you have any, if you have a voice that is heard, and you have the means to create a platform to be heard, I think you should by all means. Not everybody's going to agree with what you say. Not everybody is going to like to hear you talk. But at the end of the day, there's going to be people that you connect with, and those are the people that matter. The people that care to listen to you, that you can touch. You know what I'm saying? That you could help in some ways. You might open up their minds to certain things, and who knows what could happen. But like I said, I'm excited to be able to do this. I'm happy that I finally got in front of the camera and turned the mic on, and I'm just gonna let it flow. We have a few things that I want to get into today. Main thing being probably the hottest topic right now in sports is the Kyrie Irving vaccination issue, right? Now, I want to preface my take on this by saying I am by no means anti-vax, and I'm very much so pro-choice. Okay, so this is kind of gonna give you an idea of where I'm gonna go with this, right? So in the media we see a lot of people condemning Kyrie for not taking the vaccine, and I think it's very, very inconsiderate of people to do so, because this is not something that's like basketball related. Essentially, yes, it is a repercussion of him not taking the vaccine of his personal choice is that he won't be able to play basketball for the Brooklyn Nets due to there being a vaccine mandate in New York City. Now, his reason for not taking the vaccine could be a lot of things, but he has said that he does not agree with the idea that people are losing their jobs because of a mandate on a personal health choice, right? So we have medical workers who helped us through the whole pandemic, right? Without the vaccine, and everybody was regarding them as heroes. And all of a sudden, this vaccine that comes out of nowhere, thin air, in a year, less than a year, they're expected to be the first ones to take it, like an experiment. Like, hey, you're dealing with this on the front lines. You should definitely take this. But yet these people have been dealing with it without even knowing if there was a vaccine in sight. So if anything, they should be, exempt for at least a little while, just to, be able to step back and see what's going on and understand. But yet they're the ones that are losing their jobs at a very high rate, especially in places like New York and California and stuff like that, where that have the mandates. Now, luckily, I'm in Florida, so it doesn't really pertain to me too much when it comes to the mandates. And I'm thankful for that. There's some things that I don't agree with in Florida, but it being a state that doesn't, likes to rebel a little bit, I can get down with that every once in a while. But when it comes to Kyrie not taking the vaccine, again, that is his personal choice. So when we have people like Stephen A. Smith, right, that come on television and have a very popular sports talk show, and they condemn this man like he's a villain, or like he's um a criminal because he doesn't want to take a vaccine, is very just destructive, to Kyrie the person, a young black man who is very, very unselfish off the basketball court, and that's, to me, that's really all that matters. I don't really, when it comes down to it, I don't care about the type of player that you are on the court. I don't care what your character is on the court. It's a game, and your personal health is not a game. So that's something that a lot of thought has to be put into. We're in a pandemic, right? Where we haven't seen anything like this before, at least in our lifetimes. So we don't really know what is going to come from this. Like, we don't know the lasting effects of a brand new vaccine that hasn't been researched for very long at all. We don't know if how many times this is going to mutate, how many times we're going to have to deal with this same issue. So there's no certainty, right? But the scientists want to say that you should definitely take this vaccine. The science shows it's safe. The science shows that it's effective, right? So let me get this straight. A virus that has affected so many people in so many different ways, right? So it's a virus that some people can have no symptoms whatsoever, feel perfectly fine, not even know they're sick, not even know they test positive, whatever. And the next person could be so sick that they have to be on a ventilator and eventually maybe die. And these two people could have the same underlying health issues or none at all. It doesn't matter. Now, statistics will show you that yes, if you have underlying health issues, this virus may hit you harder, right? If you have comorbidities, you probably have a better chance of dying, right? Comorbidities being like, um, things like diabetes or being overweight or asthma or you know cancer, things like that that are um, making your immune system compromised in some type of way that it can't fight back fully against this virus. Now, with that being said, so you want me to believe that uh, a vaccine that has been researched for a very short period of time, you can tell me that it's effective and safe, but you can't tell me why this happens to some people and not others. Why some people get it and some people don't. Why some people get destroyed by it and some people don't feel a thing. In my opinion, if science can come up with a vaccine to be safe and effective on stopping the spread and limiting symptoms or whatever, then we should be able to know why this happens to some people and not others. That's just my way of thinking. It may not be correct, and you may not agree with it. I just that's in my mind. That's how it works. And until I feel comfortable with the statistics or the information given, I can't be one of the people who just fall in line. And I don't think Kyrie Irving will be either, as you can see. A lot of people are throwing dollar signs around like, oh, he's not going to get his 4-year, $196 million because he doesn't want to take a vaccine. Like, that's foolish. And the fact that the people that are saying that are driven by money that much that they will compromise their beliefs, their morals, um their personal health. At the end of the day, they will are willing to put all of that on the line for a few dollars. Now, $196 million is not a few dollars. That's a lot of money, but to somebody like Kyrie, he's got money, right? He's got money. I think the game of basketball means more to him than money, but at the end of the day, his personal health obviously means the most. There's no chance that he can make any more money if he's dead. You know, um, we've seen with a vaccine affect people differently. Some people get very sick. Some people don't get sick at all. Um, you know, a lot of people have gotten sick after the second dose. And although it may not be the most, insane sickness, it's still a sickness. It's still like the flu. It's still, you feel achy and painful and yada yada yada. So maybe he doesn't want to go through that right now. Maybe he thinks that a healthy 30-year-old man doesn't need a vaccine. Like, he wants to take his chances with what God gave us, an immune system to fight off foreign diseases, right? That's maybe what he thinks. Or maybe he has underlying health issues that nobody really knows about, and he doesn't want to chance it. And we're putting pressure on him as a society to do so, where he has to he has to weigh his options. Do I play the game I love, or do I hang him up because I don't know what's going to happen to me if I take this vaccine? And if any of you think that he's not in his right to think that way and ask those questions, you are what's wrong with society. Okay? In my opinion, I think that anybody who is afraid to ask questions and question the processes that we go through, I think that you are a detriment to society, to the progression of society. And that's a scary thought for me, to know that there's so many people who are willing to just fall in line and go with the flow and not ask questions and be like, hey, this guy said this is good, this is safe, let's do it. Like, who are these people? They're scientists, they went to school for a long time, they're doctors, they're whatever it is, infectious disease doctors and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, Look how fast you would change for $196 million. Look, at less, for your little 40K job that mandates a vaccine. You took that because somebody told you you should, right? Think about these scientists and these doctors. You don't think people are throwing money at them to say what they want them to say that'll fit their agenda? That's just a possibility, if you don't think that there's agendas involved behind things like this, I would say that you're slightly naive. Um, at least, at least a little bit, at least ask a question. At least, figure out what logically doesn't make sense, right? Like, what logically doesn't make sense is the fact that these vaccines, well, there's a few things about it. Obviously, the vaccine came out in less than a year. No other vaccine that we really ever had to take, most of them have been a 30-year window of research before it was administered to a human, right? So that right there throws me off almost all the way because it's way too quick. We don't know the lasting effects on our long-term health. Now there's a lot of people like elderly people who don't have to worry about long-term health. They already been through the long term. They're just trying to stay safe and keep it pushing until it's their time to go. So the vaccine is helpful to them because their immune system is a little bit compromised because of their age at this point in time. But for somebody like me, 27, you know, I want to make sure that my immune system is capable of fighting things off as best as possible without modern medicine. You may think that that's foolish, but at the end of the day, like, these are chemicals, these are man-made substances that we're putting into our body, and we have to be careful with that because we don't know. We are the average human, the average society that we don't have all that information. We don't know what this stuff means. These molecules put together and these things like that make this, and this reacts to this differently, and you know we're gonna test this and see how infectious we can make it, and those type of things. Like, we don't know why they're doing it. We don't know what they're doing. We don't know what makes up what, right? So we don't know the difference between a vaccine and a saline shot, right? Or whatever you want to call it. Like, we don't really know. So I think that is important to ask questions, and I think somebody like Kyrie, with the platform that he has, is important that we support him in his decision, whatever it is, and specifically speaking to the black culture, because the last thing that we need to do is go with the flow people, right? We need to ask questions. We need to know that our best interest is kept in mind, because we know throughout history our best interest has been the last thing that has mattered to anybody, right? We have received lesser health care than everybody. We have been treated unfairly through all areas and avenues of life in this country, and healthcare being one very prominent thing, right? There's a lot of misdiagnosis. There's a lot of over medication. There's a lot of under medication. You know what I mean? So we have to be very careful, and I think Kyrie he's understanding of that exact subject, and I think it plays a part in his decision. He's a very, very intelligent dude. I'm honored to be able to grow in a generation that he's a part of, because I think that he is a very interesting human. And like I said, I'm honored to be able to watch him play first and foremost, but also just be in the social presence of somebody who is as conscious as him. I I strive to be conscious as well, like that. And some people may say that it's too conscious, right? Like he's talking about the earth is flat, and that seemed to have made a lot of people mad. um Not as mad as this vaccine choice, obviously, but at the end of the day, you can't make everybody happy. People are mad that they don't get to watch him entertain. It's super selfish, right? You're calling him selfish because he doesn't want to take a vaccine that may hurt him. You don't know. You can't say that it won't. You can't say that it will. That's him. That's something that he has to deal with. His family has to deal with. You guys are mad because we can't see him play basketball anymore. Now I hope Kyrie retires and stands on his dies on that hill essentially, because sometimes stances have to be made. You know, people have to put their foot down and stand up for what's right. And I understand the NBA being a business and they have to do whatever they have to do, but I don't personally think that if this was LeBron James or Kevin Durant or even James Harden, Steph Curry, if they decided that they weren't going to take this vaccine, the NBA I would feel would be very quiet about it. They wouldn't be, they'd probably find a whole nother place for them to practice and play games and stuff like that. That way they could be on the home games and practice together and that type of thing. I don't think it would be the same thing. I think Kyrie kind of has made a lot of people angry with how he handles himself, and it's disappointing that we can't accept people for who they are as a society, no matter what occupation they have. Whether it be entertainment, or just a regular everyday 9 to 5. We have to take into consideration our personal health, our mental health, our physical health, anything. And Kyrie taking that sabbatical where he went to focus on his mental health, I think that made a lot of people mad. Like, oh, you're soft. Oh, you can't play basketball. You're making millions of dollars. Like, how can you be depressed? Like, nah, absolutely not. There's that doesn't take away anything that he's ever been through. That doesn't take away any life experiences that he has, and that damn sure doesn't take away from the fact that basketball is not going to be there forever. So you have to make sure that you're healthy enough to conduct a second half of your life where you still need to bring in a lot of money to feed your family because they're used to that lifestyle. And speaking for him, on like him especially, is he's a philanthropic dude like that, gives back a lot to his community, whether it be thousands and thousands of dollars or just his time. And you can't do that if you're not mentally okay, right? You will drive yourself out of this world by trying to spread yourself too thin without having the mental capability to do so. So I think it was important for him to step away, and I think more people should probably step away, and just take some time to themselves and really just straighten out their life so they don't run into any real issues later on down the line. I think most athletes can speak to the fact that a sport becomes an identity when you play it long enough. People know you for that. That's all they know you for. So when it comes time to hang them up, the idea of you fading out of that spotlight from being like a superhero to a regular person is a scary thought, and I think it's not talked about enough. I don't think it's understood that it really takes a mental toll on somebody that they have to transition like that from something that they know every day. Like I was listening to JJ Redick talk about it on his podcast, that it was like such a strict regimen that he was on, that now it's just like a little bit chaotic when he's not doing it, because he's so used to a regimented day that not having basketball to play, that can throw you off, and that can make people go crazy, and it could drive them off the deep end, and you never know what happens after that. We always find out when it's too late, when they already have done something to harm themselves or somebody else. Look at football players. That's one of the biggest things on top of CTE, the transition into being a regular human being in society. I know I have friends who played in the league, and they'll they can explain that, and they have expressed to me that it's very difficult that to make that transition, and dark thoughts come up when thinking about it, when realizing where you're at, that you don't really have that support system that you thought you had, you know. When you were a player, the people that'll love you to death when you are a player, and then when you hang them up, it's like, okay, I'm on to the next one. So um, when it comes down to it, I wish that these broadcasters, these sports reporters, commentators, whatever you want to call it, journalists, whatever, would stick to speaking on sports, because this right here ain't it. This is very disappointing to hear people talk about Kyrie in this light, talking about he's selfish when he's clearly one of the most unselfish athletes off the floor that we have had, and I think that he is a great role model for the generations to come, and I don't wish to see that the media destroy his character and puts the thought in people's mind that every time they hear Kyrie Irving, he's a um essentially like a cancerous person, you know, because I don't really know if you can find any teammates of his that'll be like, oh, he was a bad locker room guy or a bad teammate. I'm not sure you can find that, you know. I can probably bet you'll find some people that say he's different, but that's when did we stop liking different? Like, when did we stop applauding people for being different and being themselves and not being everybody else? Like, you everybody else is taken up. Like, if you spend your days trying to be somebody else, you never gonna reach your full potential, and that's sad. You know what I'm saying? And to look at Kyrie, you know his full potential is not about basketball. He has so much more to offer to the world, and we're trying to put him in a box of basketball. Like, if he hangs him up now, he's got so much potential. He can do whatever, and he's got money that he can do whatever. Right? He doesn't need that little $196 million or whatever. It is what it is. You know, he's not like the average person who will compromise their morals and values for that money. You know, I had a conversation yesterday with somebody that I said, I'm like, there's no realistic amount of money that you can offer me to take this vaccine, because that'll raise more questions in my head, and it will mess with me morally. I'll be like, what am I doing? I did this because of some money that's gonna be gone. Like, I don't know what this is doing to me. What if this affects my future children, and then I have to look at this and be like, dang, like that could be the reason why, and then I have to live with that forever, you know? Like, that's a sketchy thought to me. Um and as for the people who say that, like, the people who don't get the vaccine are selfish because it's putting other people at risk, if you have gotten the vaccine and you're worried about me not having the vaccine, how much do you trust the vaccine? That, to me, that's a logical question. How much do you trust it? Because from what I know, vaccines are supposed to keep you safe from whatever it is, right? So if somebody is carrying this virus and you have the vaccine, you should feel like you have a bubble around you, like it's not gonna hurt you, you know? And if you're gonna say to me that you care about my health, like, please, I would much rather you care about my choice to pick between whether or not I want to take a shot or not. You know, I don't need you to care about my health. I got me in that sense. Just please preserve my right to ask questions and make decisions based off of information that I find logical. Because if I can't do that, then there's no point in living in a free society, right? I might as well go to somewhere where the laws are stricter, and you know, it is what it is. Like, that's I'll go to somewhere that has a societal standard that we follow on day in and day out, that is much more strict than the America's way of going about it. And if you look at how those places got there, it was because people didn't know how to ask the correct questions, and they didn't go and force change. They didn't go and um, they would demand answers. They just let it happen, and then all of a sudden they have to do as they are told, as they are um, directed. And that may be getting a little too deep, but like it all comes back around to this situation. Um, it's like I said, it's just disappointing to hear people, especially influential people like Stephen A, speak on Kyrie in such a negative light. Um, it makes me sad to hear it because it's not basketball related. Even though they're trying to make it basketball related, it's not basketball related. These are the same people who are saying, get vaccinated. It means everything. Get vaccinated. You should not be on national television holding that job telling people that. What you should be doing is giving people the opportunity to discuss this, to share their perspective on why they don't believe that it's a good thing. Why do you believe it's a good thing, And facts will be facts, essentially. But it's their choice whether or not they believe the facts that they are given, right? We don't really have the opportunity to do the studies ourselves, so we just have to go with the flow, and that's not. I think that's destructive, right? So I think we should be letting people say what they want when it comes to this, and discuss things. Have dialogue. Maybe open somebody's mind. That's all I'm saying, man. Like, I appreciate Kyrie for taking this stance. I understand it. I'm with him 100%. And I also understand the NBA not allowing him to play. That is what it is, but that is minuscule in comparison to what is going on right now and the decisions that people are being forced to make. So I'm gonna kind of leave it at that, and I might touch back up on it at some point in time. But I just wanted to get on here and kind of give my opinion on that as of right now, and it's subject to change. Nothing on here nothing I say is really. It's constantly developing in my mind. It's constantly growing. I'm constantly finding more information and growing my opinion based off of that information that I get. I hope that y'all like this type of thing from me, because I'm gonna do it a lot more. I like it. It's like therapy to me. I appreciate everybody who sat down to listen. I appreciate everybody who will reach back out and give me positive or negative feedback. I hope that you can comment, like, share, subscribe, share, send it to your friend. Let everybody know that I'm active on this podcast game now, on this YouTube game. I hope to be pushing out a lot of content, and like I said, I hope y'all support me on this. If you don't, thank you anyway. Yeah, I appreciate you. I'm gonna be back real soon with some more topics. That was just one that was fresh on my mind. Be on the lookout for Sunday recaps, Monday recaps of football. Some NBA stuff. I can't wait. It's coming around the corner. I'm happy. I can't wait. I can't wait to see GOAT James get on the court. But with that being said, I'm gonna check up on out of here, and I'll be back with you ASAP. Appreciate the love. Thank you for watching. If you stayed and watched the whole time, until next time, peace.